Restrictions of Canadian immigration now apparently looking practically in Quebec state of province of the Canada. The stories are coming very painful. Immigrants who are currently there in Canada, Quebec province, their programs which will switch towards permanent residence are disturbed. And now many immigrants are claiming that they were switching towards PR program, but immigration authorities of the Quebec freezes that programs and which are not giving them permission to get the permanent residence. A lot of immigrants are speaking that authorities are coming to us and they are informing that your immigration case is not able to process further in Canada and you may leave Canada. And authorities are not arresting but giving warning that you even cannot stay on temporary visa because your temporary visa duration is over. The effort of immigrants in Quebec is to stay temporary in Canada for some time so that when conditions become better, they can contact lawyers and they can wait for significant immigration changes and might be Quebec province become little a bit favorable to them. But currently students coming from all over countries, they are just waiting what will happen to them. And I believe that if these conditions become continue, a lot of people need to go back from Canada province Quebec. Other states situation is different, but Quebec immigration programs are fixed. Each state has given the PR numbers. Each state is independent to introduce immigration program PNP etc. But Quebec province nearly to close many immigration programs, and one by one they are informing immigrants. One French speaking person was giving interview to the CNN International. It was quite deteriorated that he can speak French language, and normally when you are able to conversate French language you have enough chance to stay in Canada because Canada introducing many programs for the French speakers. Recently, Canada introduced 2025 immigration program for rural area in which if you are able to speak French and you even not qualified education wise, still you can stay and you can work in Canada and you can get the permanent residence. But there are two angles of these immigrants discussions on CNN International's from Quebec province. Number one, these immigrants wanted to stay in Quebec at all cost, and that was one of main dilemma. That is the main problem of immigrants' minds. They are selecting their destination that I will stay here. I have more job opportunities here. For example, that person who is giving interview to the CNN International is talking my research on homosexual activity. I did course and I am doing a research here in Quebec. How I can disturb my research? I can't leave Quebec. Mean that he is ready to leave Canada, but he is not ready to leave Quebec. I think Canada is compelled to introduce these two programs, which announced in other clip in which they told, if you can work in rural area, we will give you permanent residence with easiest requirement. Especially they have given compensation in English language. They have given compensation in experience certificate. You just need 1 year experience certificate to work in any rural community in which you can adjust and you can work there in the Canada. And still the people who are crying, crying to stay in Canada, there are chances. And still one more compensation by IRCC. The programs will start in 2025. They told if you are studying in rural college and you want to work in that area, in community, in similar community, no need to show 1 year experience for that program, switching to the permanent residence. Almost they had cut the 1 year experience as well. So I think Canada wants people to scatter, not to diffuse at central areas. This is the significant point from Canadian Immigration Department. I think this is a good step to, in spite of deporting legal immigrants, give them opportunity to give permanent residence to the areas where more people required. They also told that in some French speaking areas, we need French speaking people, and those people who can speak French and they can get only 4 5 CPL score in the French language. And most biggest compensation in this French program starting from 2025, that even you have secondary school certificate, mean just you have secondary school certificate, you are eligible to stay in the France, and you eligible to work in France, you are eligible to get the permanent residence in France. Condition is you will live specially in those areas in which French remote speaking available. Now this man who is in Quebec and who was giving CNN International interview that Quebec freezing immigration and Quebec finishing immigration programs, and that's why, because they had filled up their quota. Now they don't need to cross that limit which IRCC has assigned them. So what's the need for these individuals? What's the consultancy for these individuals who are stuck in Quebec and they are not getting any way to get to the permanent residency, and they are so disheartened? Why they are not trying in other areas of the Canada, in rural area of Canada? Programs are upcoming, and why they are not trying to stay in other areas? I think this is a two hands problems. Normally in social media, all media people, media criticizing immigration department, that immigration department is deporting immigrants in a bulk numbers, and they are in favor of massive deportation, and they are cutting immigrant numbers, and they are cutting immigration in requirements. Mean immigration requirements become tighter day by day. But I think this is one angle, and this angle is also in favor of immigrants. Immigration department recently, PM Justin clearly told, we are not going to cut the genuine skilled people, the genuine student visa holders. We want to cut only the people who are speaking lie in their documents. Their documents are fake. They are not genuine immigrants. They are not working in those companies in which they were given LMIA. They are telling that LMIA fake work permits we will cancel, in which companies don't exist, or companies were not entitled to invite that overseas individual, and that individual was available in Canadian laws from Canada, and they just took huge money. This is also a not wrong thing. At another angle, I am watching that immigrants who are claiming and who are on protest that there are huge restrictions on us, but their willingness to live in remote area is nil. I think when you are going to enter any country and you are going to enter any home of other country, I mean any home of any other owner, you have to obey the owner, what owner says. Owner of the Canada, the immigration department of the Canada is telling that why not you staying in remote areas where we require more people. We will give you a chance to stay. We will extend your work permit. We will give you permanent residence. But according to data which I collected, there are very less number of the students who are free from universities, colleges, and they try to get jobs in rural areas and in areas where Canada need people. They are telling that we are not adjusted in that community. Question is, you left your developing country. At least that location is better than your own country. At least it's better to be deported back from Canada to your own country. At least it's better you will remain in Canada. At least better you will get the permanent residency, and finally you will be able to get the Canadian passport. I think these wish and desires of immigrants are pulling them away from immigration process. Immigration department is right at one angle that cities are filled up and they are huge burdens on cities, and if therefore the Canadian citizens are claiming our taxes have raised, we have housing crisis, why not these immigration are bound to stay in those areas where house is available, where jobs available, and where the locations available to stay, and where people are required. These two upcoming programs of IRCC announced by Mark Miller directly, so much important, and also endorsed by Prime Minister Justin, is clear evidence Canada want to scatter the immigrants in all countries to reduce the current mass migration influx within the major cities. Thank you very much for listening. My name is Irfan Ashraf and my channel name World Immigration News by Irfan. Hopefully you will subscribe, like and share. Thank you very much.